So this is some pretty surprising news for everybody. Uvalde School District suspends entire police force. Superintendent to retire amid fallout from shooting. The district has faced withering criticism over its police department's actions. Okay, so let me just tell you up front. When I first read that headline, I thought they're saying the entire Uvalde police force is being fired, disbanded, whatever. Wrong. It is the school district police force. So in other words, the security guards who were in the school, who were tasked with, like, you have to protect the kids, they are being fired. Now, look, good, but I don't know how they weren't fucking fired already, right? Like, isn't that something that should have happened immediately after the fact, after the shooting? And shouldn't we go even further and take out the entire Uvalde Police Department and bring in new people? Maybe have, the Texas State Police step up to fill the gap for a little bit while we figure out what to do from here? Because obviously they don't do their goddamn jobs in Uvalde. So anyway, let me give you the specifics and we'll break it down as we go here. They say, is in ABC News, the Uvalde, Texas school district still facing withering criticism over its police department's failings both during the May 24th elementary school massacre and since announced the suspension of the entire district police force on Friday. Hours later, Uvalde School District Superintendent Hal Harrell announced he would be retiring. There was no time frame given for Harrell's retirement, but the transition will be discussed in a closed session of the school board on Monday. The district said it's requested more Texas Department of Public Safety troopers to be stationed on campuses and at extracurricular activities amid the police department suspension, adding, quote, "We are confident that the staff and student safety will not be compromised during this transition. The length of the school district police suspension is not clear." So they're saying it, I guess it's just a suspension. I don't know why it's not totally being fired, let go. This seems like a very tiny step where way bolder action is needed. Lieutenant Miguel Hernandez, who was tasked with leading the department in the fallout from the shooting that killed 19 students and 2 teachers, and Ken Muller, the UCISD's Director of Student Services, were placed on administrative leave. Hernandez acknowledged in a law enforcement communication in August that he received formal notification from DPS that an officer applying to Uvalde's school police force was under investigation for her response at Robb Elementary. So, Crystal was explaining this to me yesterday. Apparently, one of the people they brought in to be one of the school police officers was one of the people who was there at the shooting, part of the Uvalde police force, and wasted time and didn't save the kids. Why the fuck would you bring in somebody who also has been proven not to do their job? And you brought them in after the fact to, help the school district police? What are you talking about? It is nothing but, it's a giant circle jerk of nepotism. And they don't have public safety in mind, first and foremost, for the people of Uvalde and the children and the teachers at that Uvalde school. Mueller has elected to retire, according to the school district. Officers currently employed will fill other roles in the district, the school district said, according to the district's website. That includes 4 officers and 1 security guard. Victims' families, led by Brett Cross, guardian of 10-year-old victim Uzziah Garcia, has been holding around-the-clock vigil outside the school district headquarters calling for change. The families are now commending Friday's police department announcement. Quote, "We've gotten a little bit of accountability," an emotional Cross told ABC News. So it's a win, and we don't get very many of those. So they're clearly happy about it. But again, this is such a tiny step. I wish they would go a lot further. Kimberly Rubio, whose daughter Lexi was killed at Robb, said the department's suspension was what we've been asking for. It's more than we've been asking for. They don't know how to hire people. They don't know how to vet officers, she told ABC News. They haven't provided proper training. Well, you don't say, because we've all seen the video on the day of the massacre where the cops rush in and then they stand there and they do nothing. And they don't break down the door. They don't engage the shooter. And then if anything, a bunch of them stayed outside and tried to hold back the parents who were willing to run into a whole bunch of bullets to try to save their kids. What happened was beyond grotesque. And, I'm of the opinion not only do you fire the school district police, fire the entire police force, bring in state troopers to make up the difference for the time being, bring in a whole new police force, all new training, and look, some of these cops need to be prosecuted. Now, I know that's going to be difficult to do because we have other cases where there were school shootings and the security guard didn't save the day, and I don't think they were able to find those cops guilty, but you got to try, man. There's extreme negligence is what went on here. And we all saw it with our own 2 eyes. Gloria Cazares, whose 9-year-old daughter Jackie was killed, called the department suspension bittersweet. It's a win, a small win, she told ABC News. We're not done. Berlinda Areola, the grandmother of victim Anne-Marie Jo Garza added, "This is the perfect example of why we didn't stop. We are going to continue because there are other children that still go to school here. We have a lot of siblings of the deceased that go here," she said. "We want to make sure our kids are secure and protected, and we want to make sure that the people protecting them are willing to protect them." I mean, these people are correctly furious at the police and their extreme negligence and their inability to do their basic job. Like, you have one job, protect and serve. You know, there's so many stories of cops killing some unarmed person, but here you have somebody who's armed and mowing down kids, and they don't go and stop the shooting ASAP. The department's suspension comes one day after the firing of Crimson Elizondo, the officer who was hired by Uvalde School District, despite being under investigation for her conduct as a DPS trooper during the massacre. So this is what I just told you guys about. She was one of the first police on the scene, didn't do what she was supposed to do, and then they hired her after the fact to be a school district police officer. Like, what are we talking about here? She's under investigation and they still hire her. Again, it's all corrupt. It's all nepotism. They're all looking out for each other. They don't care that they didn't do their job right. I'm telling you, you need federal authorities to step in or state authorities to step in, and they need to correct the situation here. They need to right the wrong. They need to axe the entire police department. None of them did their job. If anybody else, if you failed at your job as bad as the Uvalde police failed at their job, you would have been fired instantly, on the spot. On the spot. And you would have been scorned as well. But these guys get an investigation and, you know, only the school district police get fired months later. What are we talking about? And it's suspended, not even fired, so they might get brought back. No. Unacceptable, man. Unacceptable. It's a tiny step in the right direction, but honestly, I don't think it's anywhere near enough. We saw how egregious what these cops did was, and if it stops here, it's you're nowhere near justice. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.